Welcome back to the Laugh Daily podcast, everybody. Today, we are going to be talking about an important question that many people ask. What is it, Andrew?
Every day. College. But the real question is, do I need to go to college to be successful?
We have some answers. Let me tell you.
Do I need to go to college to be successful? Do I need to go to college to be successful?
Oh, come
on.
Yeah,
that was the
it.
wrong one.
Had to throw a quick theme song to today's episode title. So yeah, all things college related because we have went to college.
Ow!
We have experienced college.
Sorry,
I squashed my toe with this chair.
The chair was undone.
We've been to college. You went to college.
I went to college. I graduated college.
We went to college. Lots of you listening or watching to this are either thinking about going to college or are in college right now.
Got him.
Or going back to college.
Yeah,
college is everywhere.
And what's great about this is you're going to get 3 different perspectives on college.
That's right. And I'm wearing my college glasses. They're fake.
Aren't those Andrew's?
No, they're not. I found these in the bathroom.
Those are mine.
They are not. They're Kelly's because these are the blue light versions.
I have a pair of those.
No, you don't.
Give me a break.
But okay, before we talk about college, we got another mini game for the boys.
Yes.
Andrew, what is
Are you
it?
ready for it? This is called on the spot bumper stickers. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, can I just clarify? I am. Good night. That's a long clap. I am just as surprised by all these items. I've decided not to look at the outline, so I don't know what's coming. Just like you guys. So anyway, go ahead. Game.
That's about it. Everyone's gonna take a turn, and you say go, and you just gotta think of a bumper sticker. You know, bumper stickers can be like these strange phrases that you're like, oh, I really want that on my car, or
got one.
He's got one.
Are we doing funny or just like...
It can be funny. It can just be so inspirational.
Okay. Let's do a funny one. And
they're on the spot, so
Okay.
it's probably going to be funny even when you try.
Yeah. Go ahead, Hyper.
Honk louder. I'm blind.
Honk
louder. I'm blind.
It doesn't make sense at all.
Hey, that sounds like a funny bumper sticker. I'd put
So
on my
he's
car.
driving somehow, but he can't hear somehow too. So
Hey, when we're done, you guys vote in the comments whose bumper sticker you want on your car.
yes.
And you have to pick one.
Right
to put
now,
on
we
your
have
car.
honk louder. I'm blind.
All right, Andrew, your turn. Go.
If you're following me this close, please stop.
That seems like a legit one that I've seen before.
Please stop.
My idea. Fun fact. Every day is awesome if you want.
Oh my gosh.
That's there you go. On the spot, man.
That is a fun fact.
So are we just doing one?
Let's keep going.
Okay.
You're up next. Go.
Help. I make bumper stickers for a living. Need new job. With a phone number at the bottom.
Oh man, that's good.
So the guy put that bumper sticker on his car, but he makes bumper stickers.
Yeah.
So his market for making...
Well, see, it may not be the guy's car.
Oh.
The guy who bought that bumper sticker just thought, that's great. I need to support this. Slap right on the bumper.
That's a good one. Andrew?
This car goes fast when I push on gas.
This car goes fast when I push on gas. If you say it in a normal voice.
No, it's spelled fast.
Oh, fast.
fast.
Oh,
When I
okay.
push
on
Gas. Okay. That's good. All right, guys, let's pray. Father, thank you so much for the day. And, man, amen.
Amen. I think you should do.
No, that's
all
the
right,
bumper-
guys.
bumper sticker.
I know. All right,
Okay.
guys, let's pray. ... Or just all right, guys,
And
let's
that's
pray.
his bumper sticker. You
Okay.
don't get input on
I'm
his
so
sticker.
sorry. I'm so
It's
sorry.
fine. Okay, one more round of bumper stickers. Okay.
Sure is a hairy fella. Next. But on the side of mine, it's all
Hairy?
hairy.
3 of these tires are real. 1 is fake.
Okay.
Who's the boss? We got to tell him about that too. Sometime
Okay.
in the...
We will.
Mine.
Okay.
honestly, I have to admit, my favorite band is the Donald Trumpets.
These are inside jokes that no one understands.
That's fine.
That's great.
That's bumper sticker culture.
But that's
inside
the
jokes.
other thing we've got to we got to tell them that whole thing we've
Sure.
been talking about
Why
with
not?
Samuel.
Let's just talk about randomness.
Okay.
No, we have an outline.
We have
I
an
haven't
outline,
seen
okay?
it, but
we want to jump. They clicked on this podcast because they want to know if they need to go to college to be
College.
successful. We got to give them something to chew on.
let's chew on it, man.
And then we're going to tell you something random that we thought of.
Later.
Is this in
All right.
4K?
Yes.
Yes.
So, like we mentioned,
Sorry.
we are all almost 30 years old. Can you believe it?
Gosh.
So we've experienced college, high school, all the things, and
We have 90 years of life experience.
combined,
We
whoa.
were at Shields, the new sporting goods store, ran into a little fan, and Justin mentioned that he went to the same high school as this guy. He said, I graduated in 2011, right?
Uh-huh.
And what did Bud say?
I think he's like, that's what year I was born. I was like, man, I'm old. That made me feel old.
Oof.
That's what year I was born.
I was born in 2011.
I graduated in 2010. Didn't you do 2010?
I graduated in 2009. So
What?
what? We could have filled up a whole college.
Let's
high
go. Yeah.
Let's
Thinking
go.
is hard, but sometimes fun. And
Okay. And when you graduate high school,
yes.
you will have discussions potentially with like a counselor, a guide, a success person.
Y'all had
Trying-
those?
Yeah, you got
I
to talk.
didn't.
You got to talk with them. You don't have to, but that's the expectation. You talk with them to figure out where you're going to go to college.
Andrew was way more on the ball than.
Oh, I
than
didn't
me.
talk with them. I just had lots of friends. They're like, "Oh yeah, my counselor said I got to do this, that, and the other, and yeah, I got to go to this college, and I got to be this for my. I got to do this for my entire life, and
Yeah.
because
And
that's
they
what I
left really encouraged.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
So where did you guys go to college? Let's start there.
All right, let's say it at the same time so no one knows. 1, 2, 3. Okay, come on. You weren't gonna do it.
no, I wasn't.
1,
2,
2, 3.
SMU.
Stop it.
That's where
That's
he
mine.
went. All right,
you didn't go
take
there.
it away.
I went to Southern Methodist University. I got a Bachelor of Fine Arts in acting. It's theater, but then with emphasis on acting. They have like a really solid drama program. They don't have like a musical theater program or anything like that. It's just like straight up drama. So they have anyway, just some fun facts about their drama program. They have who was the chair of Yale School of Drama is
You're
now
kidding.
Stan Wojcicki. He's a big deal. He's the chair, or was the chair, I think, over the whole theater department. I think he still is. And then we have another guy from Yale and stuff. So big dogs there. That's what I thought I was going to do my whole life.
Theater?
Oh yeah, or just acting in general. So I had an agent in Dallas. I was with. If y'all are in Dallas, you've probably heard of Campbell Agency or Kim Dawson. I was with Campbell, and then doing the films. That was the film side, and so I was kind of trying to do that while I was learning the like professional, like actual craft of acting, method wise. So yeah, it was epic. And then I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. And then started working in kids ministry. So who knows?
High five, brother.
Yes.
Quick turn of events.
You went there for how many years?
4.
4?
Fun fact, if you graduated in 4 years with a B average, at that time there was a thing called the Texas Be on Time loan, which was epic. I don't know if they still have it. But basically, it all starts as like a loan, right? But if you graduate with a B average and in 4 years, it turns into a grant.
What's that?
Wow.
So a grant is like the government's just like, so a loan is like you can borrow this money, but you have to pay it back. A grant is like you can keep it if you use it for that.
That's
Wow.
cool, actually.
So it was pretty
That's
epic.
kind of encouraging people to actually take it seriously.
Yeah.
Ah.
Dang. Nice. Andrew?
I went to a total of 3 different colleges.
The first one being.
First one,
The tour.
First one, Pikes Peak Community College.
Let's go, brother. Give him the applause.
Oh.
Oops.
Dadgummit.
So Pikes Peak Community College got some prerequisites out of the way.
That's smart.
Cheaply.
Super smart.
Did that, then transferred up to the Colorado Film School, where we did a lot of our activities to learn about cameras and stuff like that.
Activities. Activities.
And then after that, okay, so I got my associate's degree in writing and producing from the film school. And
That's
then
dope.
I moved on to Regis University to get my bachelor's degree in management.
Wait, you did 3 different ones?
Well, the community college went into film school. So that was like
Yeah,
the
that's kind of
same
one,
thing.
but still. Yeah,
so
that's
that
cool.
was basically my college journey. And I will say, my senior year in high school, my cross country coach really wanted me to run in college.
I heard you were a beast though in cross country. No,
I'm not gonna say, but
Justin, tell us the truth. Was he a beast in cross country?
I'd never went and watched his events, so
Are you kidding me?
this
never
guy
invited me.
never
Are you-
wanted to.
Oh yeah.
When do you want to go watch a cross country meet?
You don't.
Exactly.
Anyway,
The
seems-
track's fun.
what did
But
you do?
anyways,
Oh no, sorry. Go ahead.
Let me finish my story.
Sorry,
So
gosh.
coach thought since I did track, I did hurdles, and I was pretty good at cross country. There's actually an event where you combine both of these called the steeplechase.
Wait, really?
Yes. And he was like, I think you're the perfect fit. He was texting one of his college coaches at Western State University. He was trying to get me on the team, like pursue that route. And I was like, I don't know if I really want to do like sports in college because I don't think that's really going to turn into like a career.
No, for real.
So I decided not to go that route and decided to go, I'm going to go like, I feel like where my passion is more of filmmaking. I always knew I wanted to be like in the
Smart.
entertainment industry. And I was like, I'm going to do that instead. I don't know what that means, but let's try.
So at what point did you? Because I'm sure at some point you like. Did you always? Was there ever a point where you're like, oh, sports are epic? Was there a point in your life where you go, I would choose that over, or at least neck and neck with something else?
Well, for me, like the best thing I was at in high school was like running.
Yeah.
And like, that's not like, you're not
Yeah.
going to get signed by like an NBA team.
Right. To run.
Like the
Get him in there.
the top of running is maybe, I don't know, like the Olympics.
Yeah, and then it's like,
There's-
yeah, right.
There's no way I would ever get there. So I was like, this, just the path, the route just doesn't seem like maybe a Nike sponsorship for no reason. I don't know, but
Yeah,
I just don't see the ceiling on that's kind of low.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was not too stoked about college running. Plus, when you're doing cross country in high school, it's 5Ks. When you go into college, they double it to 10Ks. And I was like,
No.
Yikes.
forget that.
Stay in good shape though, doing cross country,
Yeah,
man.
that's true.
Justin?
Very similar to Andrew. Obviously, we've been friends for like 14 years. We went to college together. So I went to Pikes Peak Community College as well. Not at the same time as Andrew, I don't think, right? Because I never remember seeing you there. So yeah, doing all the standard stuff, history, math, all that. Maybe not history. I think it was math, which I flunked the first time, so I had to do it again.
High five, brother.
Let's go.
But yeah, I went to Colorado Film School as well. Did not graduate.
High five, brother.
Let's go, brother. Wait, really?
Yep, did not graduate.
So wait, did you graduate?
Yes.
Yep. I studied acting as well, like you, Hyper. So I don't even honestly, I don't know if I got an associate or what. I was not about college. That's very clear.
Well,
as
if you
you
got
can
an
see.
associate's, that would be graduating.
Yeah.
Oh, well, see, I don't know nothing about college. I didn't like it.
Let's
So-
go, fam.
That's the general gist of what I did. Similar to Andrew. I remember in high school, though, like what you're saying, Andrew, I was doing sports. I was doing football, and one day we had the Marines come out and do like a bunch of
Oh,
Marine
those guys.
tests. And I was in the top 3, and they wanted me to go out and do the Marines with them.
Absolutely.
But obviously, I didn't do that, didn't want to do that.
A hard pass, for
Obviously-
Mr. Marine.
It was a pretty cool thing to be offered, though, because obviously they don't offer it to everybody. So I was like, the adrenaline of like, oh man, they want me on the Marines.
Only-
Sure.
Only Samantha.
Go
and,
get him, you grunt.
Only Samantha and Bob were ahead of you.
Yep.
She was
killed
crazy.
it.
She killed it.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely didn't go that route. And like,
Side note.
Yeah.
Speaking of tests, did y'all ever have to do that like pace test where it's like boop? You know, like for like going across the court, to see how
Oh.
fast you could go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where they had this like CD player of like how fast to run from one side of the basketball court to the other.
No, I
and
never
like
did
all the kids in PE were like, "Dadgummit, here we go."
Yep.
yeah.
Boop.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Not into that.
one of the best tests I ever took.
Sounds fun. Gotta love the fun test, the competition stuff aspect. How fast can you beat it?
So what made y'all choose the university you chose?
Well, we live here in Colorado, so
Yeah.
That's true.
cheaper too. Way cheaper than other.
When you're trying to go into film, yeah, Colorado is definitely like on the lower tier of options.
Yeah.
So it was either shell out, go to like USC, like the top
Right.
like film school,
Right.
which that's expensive and a
Sure.
lot of work. But then Colorado Film School just kind of came out of nowhere. I was like, huh, this is cheap, exciting, fits what I want.
Yeah.
Sold.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if y'all ever had. Did y'all ever have like high school? I forgot what they were called, but basically, it's where you have all of the, especially for acting, you'd have. I think they're called regionals. I could be totally wrong, but maybe they're unifieds. Anyway, so they would have all of the colleges, like pretty much all over the U.S., come to this thing for all these high schoolers. And you do 2 monologues, do the thing, they'd redirect you and all this stuff. And then they would post who all got called back in the nation. So like, I, did y'all do any of that?
No.
Or is that like a Texas thing? Because we had a thing where like it was big at least in the Dallas area. So we would go to this thing, right? And you'd have OU, you had SMU, you had people from NYU, you had people from, wherever it was. And I think like Juilliard and NYU, they have their own, like when you go to New York, but you had all these huge schools. And then you'd always like brag to your friends about how many you could get in like one segment. But it was cool because instead of going to all these schools and auditioning, you audition at once and they basically tell you if you've made it. You just have to go there and like, pass the test or something. But it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But,
So, what are your guys' thoughts on college based on your experience there? What do you got?
I was going to say also with like high school, because you guys probably experienced this too. You'd have like 2 groups of friends where it's like, I'm going to Colorado University. And then you had your other group of friends who are like, oh, we're all going to Colorado State.
yeah.
And these big groups of people just going to like a college just because their buddy's going. It's like, oh, represent,
Yeah.
And they don't even know why they're going.
Yeah. So your opinion on that is bad.
I think you got to understand why you're going.
Yeah.
Why? The key.
That's what helped about like having that. I recommend if there's anything, of course it's different with acting, but like if there's like sometimes they have like fairs for colleges where like you can just kind of check them all out, what they're good at, what they're known for. Obviously a lot of websites now will be like rank the top. Okay, this is the top in business. This is the top in this. And I'm not saying you have to do that because sometimes that becomes more of your life than like your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I feel like even like a senior, you're getting ready to graduate and the pressure of having to like pick a college and like having to like, oh, this is what I'm going to be my career.
Yeah.
That's like a lot of pressure. Like there's no reason why you can't take a break and like figure it out
Sure.
either. So it's like, if you're feeling pressure for picking a college, get that pressure off.
I wonder how
Shouldn't be
much
pressure.
I feel like a huge part that may be overlooked in our like progression as artists or whatever is like just how much God was a huge factor in our lives. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, I'm not saying I wasn't a hot mess in high school or in middle school, but I'm saying like I knew the Lord, and I feel like there were certain things that God was allowing me to do and allowing me to figure out in college and other things that he was protecting me and guiding me along the way instead of me just being like, well, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. And like, even though I thought that's what I was going to do, I thought like I was convinced I'm going to do this for the Lord. I'm going to act for the rest of my life. I will never do anything, especially in acting. They're like, well, if you have a backup plan, you're screwed, because you'll never act because you'll always end up doing the backup plan. It's like very encouraging stuff, so you're always like, when you go in there, you're like, oh, I'll never not do acting. But like, even through that, God, it was like slowly, like he could even shift it on a dime of like what he wanted me to do. But it was a blessing being able to stay close to home. I didn't realize but I knew I wouldn't do that unless I had a dope acting school where I was like, oh, this is one of the top in the nation. And then, so I thought the only way to get that was like Juilliard or like NYU. So I even auditioned for Juilliard, but like, having SMU and stuff like that, I just feel like that's a big factor of like having those boxes checked. I don't think they'd be checked without like a relationship with the Lord. You know what I mean? I think I'd be like, I'm gonna go, anywhere but here.
Yeah. What'd you think of college, Andrew?
Well, yeah, since the film school was so small, it definitely was not like an SMU where it's like there's dorms and that type of stuff. So I feel like we didn't really have that experience of, the college like lifestyle that's like, put on a pedestal or whatever. But I think just plainly, I think college is right for some people and then college isn't right for other people.
Yeah.
For example, I mean, what do you think? Do you think that you'd be where you are right now if you didn't go to film school?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Also, I think there's different like reasons you go too. Like, do you feel like you learned, like, do you feel like in terms of like develop shaping and like character shaping that college did anything? I'm talking about like community and the other college.
Me?
Yeah.
Um,
Me? Ah,
I
didn't have my hand up.
I don't know. I feel like not really for me. I'm like, because like Andrew said, our college wasn't that like big, and even doing like the like math, all those things again, going from high school and then having to do it again in college, I thought was like just the biggest waste of time and money. Like I just finished high school and now I'm having to go do it again and pay for it in college. I'm just like, I was so annoyed. And I mean, the biggest community I had was like, at our apartment, me, Andrew, Kevin, Jacob.
Yeah.
I didn't really hang out with anybody really outside of like just the bros.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. And plus like on the weekends we would drive home. So it was like on the weekends when you have free time, we'd be with family here or, friends that were still local.
Yeah. What about you?
I feel like, yeah, I agree with what Justin's saying about like math and history and that type of stuff. But I feel like if you get like a subject that you're kind of like interested in, like it can be fun. For example, like for me, astronomy was like super cool. Like I would go in there, I wouldn't even like study anything. I could like max out the test, like 100%. Really? Like other kids are like studying and couldn't like get it. And I was like, I don't even need to like study and I can just,
Wow.
So then I would take like extra astronomy classes just because it was just so fascinating. Like
cool.
Stuff like that. I think if you find something that you're like interested in, it's like definitely like take classes and stuff in that. But at the end of the day, still, I feel like if I didn't go to film school, a lot of this stuff I could just learn on my own, like through the internet.
Sure.
Right?
But I feel like, I guess what I'm asking too is like, there are certain things that like, I wonder if you didn't go to film school, would y'all be as motivated? Not like film school motivated you in a good way, but there are some things at SMU where I realized it kind of stole some of the joy for acting out of me. And so it motivated me to be like, if I find something epic, I'm doing it.
True. I got an answer for you. Because at film school, it was very I experienced it a lot. Like looked down upon, like if you did YouTube or you thought that was like a career path.
Yeah.
People looked at you and be like, you are so amateur. Like to think that you can just upload cat videos.
How dare you?
And then they are on par with my script.
My black and white student film.
Like that's what, so in terms of like motivation, I feel like, yeah, probably. Like if I didn't go to film school, I probably wouldn't have this perspective that people think, down on YouTube.
Yeah,
I think it's not like valuable or whatever. So I was like, when we were going there, I was like, this is what I'm doing. And people are like putting me down for it. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to keep doing it.
That was like in terms of faith and in terms of like just decisions, college, you could say on one end of the spectrum, it was one of the most dysfunctional times for me of like, wow, like, 1 minute I'd be like repping Christ and the next minute it'd be like, what the heck did he just do or say? Like, because you have total freedom to do whatever and be whoever you want, but then you also you need to have total responsibility to do whatever and be whatever you want. So it's kind of like, what? But in those times, like looking back, like there's so much I learned of like, oh, well, this is why that's hard for me. Or this is like what I don't want to be, or this is who I do want to be, or what I liked about that. And like, even with acting, like it wasn't because they taught, hey, you need to not have joy in acting. It's because I put so much pressure on myself on what was success, you know, like, and I realized, wow, that's an indicator about me. But I didn't know that until college, that I'm so competitive. I mean, you guys know this, that I'm competitive to a fault where it's not realistic, or it's like, I'll be so competitive that it'll indicate, sometimes I'll let it indicate my worth as a human. It's like, oh, well, if I'm not the best in this class, or if I'm not this or that, then I just give up. It's fine. You know, it's like, well, why can't you just enjoy? No, I can't enjoy it because I'm not winning. It's like, what? You know, but things like that, I feel like college is great for, like, if you go in with a perspective, not to like get everything right, but to like, okay, learn about yourself and who God says you are. And because I think in that environment, especially in a big college, like even when there's just things that you realize, wow, I do have that habit. I do that a lot. Wow, that's why I flunked math or whatever. You're like, because like me too, there were classes where I was like, oh, why don't I not enjoy this? Or, I mean, why am I doing bad in this class? Is there a correlation between me no likey, even though I have to do it? Yeah, you know, or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. I think, what was I going to say?
Yeah, you were saying, yeah, definitely. And then you,
yeah. No, I was going to say, back to just our main point, do you have to go to college to be successful? And I think if you just break that down even more, I think people in their minds think, do I have to get this specific degree to be successful? Do I have to have this degree to do that?
No. I'm sorry. Sorry.
That's fine. But going to your point of like, okay, well, maybe there's other stuff you get out of college besides the degree that
absolutely
can make you be successful.
Right.
Or lead to something.
Yeah, I agree with that answer. But, you know, I'm on the end of the spectrum where I don't, like my kids, I'm not going to, if they were to ask me, Dad, should I go to college? I'll immediately say no. Like, unless it's like you're going to me, if you want to be like a doctor or something like that, it obviously depends on the person and the certain circumstances and the perspective. But my perspective is like what you said earlier about like, you can learn everything just even on YouTube almost. It's like you search something, you can learn so much just on YouTube versus paying a ridiculous amount of money to go. And obviously if you want to learn something and you weigh the cost of like, I want to spend this much money and be this much in debt and then have to work to pay off this much of debt. Yeah. Obviously if you're doing it to get a job that will pay it off quickly, then sure. But me, I'm just like, I felt like it was a waste of time because I wasn't invested in it. I spent money, got into debt, and like Andrew, when Andrew asked me the question, like, would I be doing YouTube without college? Yes. Did I learn anything at film school? Not really, because I didn't care.
Yeah.
So I'm not really for college type mentality.
Totally. Yeah.
And like I was saying, like there's some people it's good for, some people it's not.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm not as far on your side, but like a little bit more this way, just because like my wife, she went to CU for aerospace engineering. Like stuff, you know, there's like degrees where it's like, we're talking about like, oh yeah, you can learn it on YouTube, but it's like, you're not going to go on YouTube and be like, I'm an aerospace engineer.
Like a doctor.
Hey, SpaceX, hire me. And they're going to be like, well, how'd you learn this? Well, I watched some YouTube tutorials.
You can't even get hired without a degree though. So some of these jobs.
And I think some of it too, I don't want to overlook the social aspect. Like I do feel like there are certain things where it's like what you learn in college on a academic level is to work the system. I don't care if you know, it's not like, oh, you don't like this, Seth? Well, you don't have to take it. Like, it's fine. No. Like, it doesn't, I don't care if you miss a class or if you can make that choice to skip the class. But guess what? When the test comes, you don't know what's going on. So like, there's certain things that I think it does help you to be like, dang, this is hard, but how do I win anyway? How do I conquer this anyway? Or do I just go, you know, even though I was like, there's times where I was like, I'm out. This is worthless. But I think that and the social aspect, like I feel like there's certain things where like when you're surrounded by it depends on the college too, right? But like in my environment, you were surrounded by people like 24/7. And so then it was like, wow, there are certain things that like I am not good at cleaning up after myself, or I am not good at like, why do I do that? And you kind of, if you have like an assessment of yourself, not like 24/7, but like enough, then
Sure.
you'd be like,
Yeah.
I should probably work on that,
Yes.
And then it helps you if you were ever to do a certain type of, because I feel like there's certain things that, as awesome as YouTube is, like it does not prepare you for a corporate environment or like a huge business environment all the time. Because a lot of the times when y'all started, it was like just y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Versus like, okay, now go, how you guys operate, because it was just awesome. It was like, it's kind of like a family, versus how AT&T operates is like, hey, we're going to cut about 2,000 people today. You cool with that? It's like, anybody want to leave?
No.
So it's just interesting. It depends, whatever you want to do.
Funny. Mary had, I think it was a classmate, somebody like in her degree field that she didn't like know, but
Yeah.
he never showed up to class. He was only there just like party, all this stuff, but his parents are like paying for it, right?
Oh.
So at the end of the semester, they showed up and they like drug him out. They're like, we are not paying for this for you to
Yeah.
just skip class.
Man.
And just, oh man, it was pretty fun because they were like, because Mary's obviously did really well with her grades and stuff. I'm like, well, who's this like girl? They're like, they never knew each other. And like, you should be like her, like
Yes.
studying and like getting, your grades up and like, get out of here.
Yeah, I feel like it's just the biggest thing, even going back to like our conversation, the other podcast about like jobs, and like the biggest thing you need to ask is why.
Yeah.
I feel like instead of just following like social norms, I was like, oh, you have to go to college. You do it this way. And I was like, why are you going to college?
Yeah.
Why are you doing what you're doing? If you're doing it for purpose, are you going to be intentional there? If
Yeah.
you don't have a why, then don't just be pressured into going to college because
But
it's a waste.
I do know on the other side, like that's why I'm trying to tie it back to faith. Because if you have like a bearing in Christ, let's be real, you're gonna mess up something. You're not gonna be like, oh well, I didn't go to college, so I'm not in debt. Like Kelly's in debt, but we're paying that off, and we're that's fine.
Oh.
But like, and she didn't know. She went into college just knowing that she needed to get good grades and do all this stuff. But she loved college. She loved studying, but her degree isn't. I think it was in psychology. So you kind of have to get a master's degree if you're going to do psychology.
Mm-hmm.
But she's working at AT&T. She's doing epic stuff. But so like there's things like that where I feel like I was gearing, everything I did at SMU was to go to LA. I never went to LA. So it was
Yeah.
like God is good enough to be like, hey, I'm going to try my best to honor the Lord. And then there's times where God goes, hey, I know what you were trying to do, but let me help you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not as much pressure as like, if you get this decision wrong, then you're
Totally.
doomed.
And that's just going back to what you're saying. Like, as long as you have like somewhat of an idea of what you're
Yeah.
trying to do, like that's a good start. But if you're just being pressured into going to college and just thinking like, oh, this
True.
is what people do, and then you have zero like ambitions and you're not even like, well, I don't even know. You just pick a degree because it just sounds interesting. It's like, that's a little
Yeah.
different, but obviously
Yeah.
anything can happen.
So to answer that question, do I need to go to college to be successful? No. You can be successful though going to college. You can also be successful outside of college, and there are other options besides college.
If it's not college, what is one word y'all would say? This is hard. That instead of college, you do need this though. You don't need college to be successful, but you do need what?
One word?
Or one phrase or whatever, What if you don't need college, because I would ask that. I'd be like, okay, so I don't need college, then I'm just going to naturally, how does that happen? How do I be successful then? Just in like a short little blurb.
One word,
Yeah.
passion.
Ooh, that you kind of stole
Yeah.
mine.
I was going to steal his.
Dang it.
He might say it still. I don't know. But
What? Passion's
You
good.
can elaborate more on
Go ahead.
passion.
I think as long as you're passionate for something, you're going to seek out the knowledge required to get better at it.
Yeah.
You're going to seek out how to, anything you're passionate about, you can turn into a job.
Yes.
So I feel like if you have passion in something, you're going to be able to take those strides to get better at it.
And
And that's
sustain
where
it.
success comes from, is like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
That's really good.
It's probably one of the best answers.
dang
Yeah.
it.
But we already talked about
Can I
it.
keep going?
Sure. You want?
So yeah, I was reading this book. It was talking about like success and stuff, and it was talking about the example of like Michael Phelps. So people don't like, you look at Michael Phelps and you say he's successful because he has all these gold medals, right? But the reason why he's successful isn't because the gold medals, that was just like an indicator that he achieved what he was trying to do. He was successful because he chose to start going after it. It's like just that choice at the very beginning being like, I'm going to get that. So you start training that way. You start doing, you know, all your, whatever your daily actions are and all that stuff. You have like that mission that like, that's what makes people successful, is that passion and that desire to be like, okay, I'm going to achieve X, Y, Z. So once he achieved that, it was just like a reflection of, oh, okay, well, he did put in the time. He did have that success mentality more than just, oh, gold medal equals success.
Right.
Yeah, really
That's
good.
good.
Intentionality. God, Jesus. Because all those things, I mean, like we've already been talking about, like the Bible alone has so many principles.
Yeah.
Just how to live life and how to be successful. What is success? Defining success. Like, what is it to you? Because, like, if success is being this way, then I don't know. It's just like, what is your definition? Really looking at that. What do you want to do with your life? But, man, there's just so much to talk about with all this stuff. I feel like
that's good
with college. So
that's good.
That's good.
But, man.
Yeah, I would have said passion or yeah.
High five, brother.
High five.
So anyways, if you guys are young, even in middle school, high school, don't put the pressure on yourself to feel like I have to go to college. Like, really think about it. Think about, like, what do you want to do? How are you going to be intentional with that, with the passion you have, pairing like your passions with intentionality and thinking through a game plan, evaluating all the options instead of just making like a decision. Think through, like, why am I doing this? What are the pros and cons? And I feel like that's like just being wise. If you're being wise instead of just like, I got to do this because everyone is doing it. I got to go to college because everyone, like,
and if you're listening to this and you're in college currently and you're wondering what you're doing, find your why, find your passion, and then make a decision from that. Even if you're like, this isn't right for me.
Yes.
That's fine. Or you're like, man, I am on the right track.
Do not feel bad if you don't want to finish college. You don't have to. This is your life. I didn't finish college. You don't have to do it. You don't have to feel pressure like, oh, I paid money, I have to finish it out. No, you do you. If you want to go do something and pursue something outside of college, go do it. If you have a passion, you'll get it done. So, any other thoughts? I think we need to at least call GameStop and get their opinion.
Yeah, we have to. So I'm gonna
You're gonna
pull up a number and
while he's doing that, keep in mind that all three of us did different college journeys, and I don't think any of us are really doing what we thought we would be doing from college.
Yeah.
So it's not like, you have to have it all figured out. And sometimes whether finishing or not finishing, like just
or even if you didn't go and let's say you're an older adult, you're like, I should go back.
Yeah.
You could do that.
Yeah.
For real.
You can do that.
Who's going? You?
We're calling GameStop on Course and Central. We are currently with guests. Can you please hold?
Yeah.
Thank you.
GameStop is with customers, really? Don't lie.
GameStop, you're with customers today. GameStop, you're with customers, okay? But why can't you answer the phone today? 'Cause GameStop, you're with customers today. GameStop! GameStop! Rick, I hope you're not bored. Drew, I hope you enjoy this little bitty segment that you will
Black, take
be
it away.
hearing down. Hey, 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 GameStop.
Is this customer trading in all his old games?
Yes. Just list them out.
Hey, what's for sale today?
What you got for me? GameStop.
Do you got a PS3?
GameStop. What you got for me? GameStop. I
it's
feel
PS3.
alive. Do you even have the new PS5? Must have snacks. Must have snacks.
JStu, you make me
I'm
laugh
all
daily.
jacked up on Mountain Dew. I'm all jacked up. Ooh, I gotta poo. Nobody knows what I'm thinking right now. But I've got to get a new towel. Gotta poop. Everybody knows I just gotta poop. Gotta poop.
What in the world?
Customers don't take this long, okay?
Should we call a different one?
They're
Itsy
capping.
bitsy spider came up by the
I have to call a
fire.
different one.
No, he's gonna answer soon. He's talking with a customer.
No,
Don't
he's
hang
not.
up.
How many seconds?
10.
30,
9,
28, 27, 26, 25,
5,
24,
4,
23,
3,
22,
2,
21,
1.
19, 18, 17. No, come on, Jingo.
Thank you for calling GameStop and Bernalillo. This is Josh. How can I help you?
Hey, what's up, my guy? Me and
How's
the
it going?
boys, me and the boys were just chatting about college and deciding if we should do that or not. What do you think?
I mean, it's worth it. You get more money. That's a mistake I've made before, so I would definitely do it.
What do you mean you get more money?
I mean, you get more money for going to college. What do you mean?
But I'm just trying to think through that. Like,
It's
how
an
do I?
investment. You're gonna figure like stocks. You put some money into it, and then you can get some more money out of it.
Like get a higher paying job, you think, because of the.
Oh, absolutely. Better than working this menial job with prank calls all day.
Oh, well, it's not a prank call.
Yeah, it's
but
more
I'm-
like a Laugh Daily podcast call.
No, great. Yeah, I would absolutely do it.
Okay. Well, there
Deal.
you go.
Well, thanks for the advice.
Josh, you're epic.
Yeah, good luck. I try. You guys take care.
All right, bye, my guy.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Well, there you have it.
Wow, Josh.
He brought up a good point we didn't even touch on. You can make more money, maybe.
Okay, so I had a point kind of along the same lines.
Thanks
So-
for watching, guys.
No, really.
Activities.
Backup option. So say you don't go to college. Say, how much did college cost for you?
I left without any debt, so
High
Well,
five,
how
brother.
much did it cost,
let's
though?
go. Tuition was about $60,000 a year.
And you went for 2 years? 4 years?
4.
So 6, 12, 20.
But I had scholarships and stuff, so it wasn't that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
What's
and I had that grant.
What would you say the average college amount is?
Probably 30 a year, right? No, or is that
Yeah.
for like a major, for like a big? I was in a private college too, so
So would it
yeah.
be safe to say like 100 to 200K for college?
For college, for the total?
Yeah.
No.
Sure.
Not including scholarships or anything like that. Yeah,
Yeah, even the scholarship is paying that price.
Right.
Yeah.
So my thought is, so let's say you don't go to college, but if you were to go to college and spend that much money,
Yeah.
using that money instead to invest in yourself in whatever that passion is. So let's say
pedicure.
my kids grow up and they want to be a YouTuber. Let's just hypothetically say that. Instead of them going to film school and paying that much money,
Yeah.
I would love to see them create their own business and invest that money into themselves with, equipment, whether that's masterclass, something like that. I feel
Right.
like that's an option as well. Or if you want to start a business, using that money as like, obviously you can learn all this stuff at college, but I'm saying like this is just another option to invest in yourself. If you don't want to go to college, use that money in a different way.
True.
So that's all.
That's what Josh said.
Josh said that.
Going to college was investing in himself.
So boom. There's like, as you guys,
And let's keep in mind, Justin did go to college.
I sure did.
He quote unquote didn't, or he felt like he wasted the money and then left, and now look at him. So it's like, it's not like.
That's what I'm saying. There's like no right or wrong way.
Now
like we
look
each
at him.
have maybe there's a wrong way if you go to college and you don't want to and you're just wasting money like Bilbo with your wife or whatever.
What?
Bilbo in your wife's class.
Yeah.
Oh. I was lost, but now I'm found.
circle now.
Nope, no, that's
Oh, like
that's a great
Bilbo, your
example.
wife, or
It's a great example.
Yeah.
Don't be like Bilbo.
Yeah.
Don't be a Bilbo.
Don't have your parents come drag you out of college because you didn't care.
Don't be a Bilbo.
And don't go to college to party.
Don't. Well,
No.
no. Yeah. Don't. Well.
With lemonade. Am I right, brother?
Yeah, brother.
That is the
Nice.
biggest waste of time. If you're going to
Cool
college to
iced
party,
tea.
big L. So,
Big L.
yeah. Any final thoughts before we end?
Game. Stop.
All right.
You don't have to get student debt.
Yeah, let's go. No student debt. But anyways,
Yeah.
hope you learned something new on this podcast, guys. Thanks for being subscribed, listening. We appreciate you. And we'll see you on the next episode.